Yeah.
Well, we called it James, and we laughed so much. We had a lot of levity back in those days. James is still responsible for a lot of levity. But I laughed my ass off. As far as kids go, I laughed all the time. And scary events. Well, the day we almost drowned Nelson Mandela's granddaughter, that was scary. That was really scary. Almost drowned her. That was terrifying. That's probably the most terrifying event. The first time I ever came close to losing a kid, like really watching and losing.
What if some of your kids become? Like, what are you watching them? You mentioned there's a famous newscaster.
Well, you know, I followed this whole Saving Wildwood story in the paper recently about closing Wildwood and Fall River and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that bothered me was they talked about the old days, you kids having to put up with these terrible conditions. I can remember being in the classroom, flat roof building, leaky roof, and the roofs used to leak to the point where they would come down through the tiles above our heads.
Buckets everywhere.
And we had buckets. We had garbage cans filled, 6 of 8. We had to pee all the time because you just stupid water. And I'm hearing about how, these terrible conditions. You know, we produced Pulitzer Prize. You know that Annie Baker won a Pulitzer Prize for Literature last year.
Oh my gosh.
And Madeline George, who was her babysitter, came in second. And Madeline George's partner in real life came in third. So you had 2 of the 3 Pulitzer Prize winners, Wildwood graduates. You had Anne Pham, a Vietnamese refugee from the war in Vietnam. She became Madeline Albright's left-hand woman.
Hmm.
We had, Miguel, of course, is a pilot. You know, he dreamed about being a pilot. He's a pilot. Day wanted to work with cartoons. He's working with cartoons and comics. We had, who did you say I mentioned?
Newscaster in Boston, you said?
Yeah, Shana Seymour was a star athlete. And I remember she went on to Syracuse, all sorts of swim and track things. Yeah, she's, if you watch Channel 5 in the evening, you'll see Shana Seymour, Wildwood graduate, as a lead-in to she's the evening news anchor now, I believe. Before that, she was the Chronicle anchor. We had Michael Mann, who's Mr. Climate. If you pull in climate change, Google climate change, you come up with Michael Mann. They hate him. Anybody in the Republican Party that doesn't believe in climate change hates Michael Mann because he wrote a book. He sent me a book.
No, just stay here.
I can do this. I can do it. I found it.
And how many teachers do you think you inspired by your example?
Hundreds, I hope.
I think you have
Yeah, here's
hundreds, yeah.
Michael's-
No way.
Michael's book.
The Madhouse Effect. That's an interesting name.
So, yeah, Jocelyn Holly Hobby's daughter is a well-known artist.
Yeah?
But it pleases me as much to think about Dawn and David Franke and the Peterson brothers and Josh Reiner, these nice kids standing in front of the classroom. Lisa Dowsett and standing in front of... Lisa just had a group from her school in South Carolina, somewhere in North Carolina, win some sort of award for some program they developed to get these kids who are in an underprivileged situation to get out there in the world and change the world, and to think about the kids who became teachers and are carrying on my tradition of, building up kids to grow up with bullshit detectors and using it and changing the world. That makes me really proud.
There's nothing more important.
Yeah, it makes me really feel good. And there's a lot of them out there. And I keep hearing from more and more on Facebook. This is what's so nice about this project, is that they see your work on Facebook and they say, "Hey, did you see Mac?" And "Oh yeah, and they forward it to one of them.
Cool.
I keep on getting letters from people all over who've seen the videos and
What's your address if somebody wants to write you a letter?
Write me a letter, 3 Red Fox Lane in Amherst. They have to know I can't respond. I have the gift from my mother is my arthritis, my crash dive incapacity, my dizziness, my unsteadiness affects my writing. I can't write back to people.
Do you want a video if they want to take a video and communicate with you so you can see what they look
That's
like?
why I'm doing videos. This is like my generic, all-in-one thank you and hello and goodbye to everybody.
Maybe others could post videos on your Facebook page, on the We Love Mac page, and then you could see what they look like today and what they do. Wouldn't that be fun?
I would love that.
We'll have to have a call for entries.
Yeah, they should do that.
It would be like getting visits, except you don't have to answer the door.
No, it would be wonderful. Yeah, to think of the kids all over the world that are doing good things with their lives, and to follow their, like you say, to follow their lives, to see them with their kids.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie Watt, who is one of the founders of our Pops concert, he's up there in Canada,
Huh.
right down the street from Bly. He and Bly are both
Oh, really?
in Toronto, yeah.
Hmm.
And he's a good boy, Jamie, and he's doing good things with his life and his family.
He came back for your party, I think.
He did.
I think I saw him there.
Yeah, he's there. And our day, of course, is.
He's at the Apollo. He's doing huge things.
He's doing great things.
Yeah.
And he calls me all the time, like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Our day, will you stop calling me after 9:30 at night? Get this straight, buddy. I'm an old man here. Yeah, I started off today by yelling at Jeremy about teasing Dee Dee. I told James, one of my worst memories of Jeremy. He was a nice boy.
Jeremy
He
who?
was Jeremy Austin. He's a little frisky.
He's on the bid board with me now uptown. He's
Well,
still
I felt
around.
badly because in 5th and 6th grade, they came to my physiology class. He was in Miss Lowe's class, but he had physiology, a whole group of physiology. Got them all together, and he's flirting with Dee. He's flirting, but in a crude sort of way, like poking her. And I yelled at him so hard, he got a bloody nose. I felt so bad.
You
He
yelled
was
a bloody nose into
I gave
him?
him a bloody nose by yelling at him.
Wow, I didn't know you had that in you.
I didn't either. That's a memory I have.
Did you flip your hair at him? That could have given him a bloody nose.
No.
No?
I did see, what's his name, Mark. Who's the guy from Star Wars, supposedly?
Mark Hamill?
Yeah, that is uncanny, the resemblance in certain pictures, certain periods of time in my life. Where I look like...
Oh,
he
Sean
covered my hair.
Cassidy. You're all Sean Cassidy.
Sean Cassidy stole Mac's hair, yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah.
I miss my hair badly. I miss my hair color badly.
I do too.
I look at those pictures, oh God.
And your
what they
swagger.
Yeah,
You swaggered.
I did. I can't swagger.
You walked down the hall like this, banging your
My
hand on
chain.
your
My
leg.
change.
Would you
I
jiggle
got
it?
the
Was
world
that what you were
on a
doing?
string.
You'd be walking down.
I think I was singing I Got
Like-
the World on a String. I got the world on a string.
No, you were rocking out. It was more like Travolta Saturday Night Fever music.
Oh,
With the
Travolta.
pace you were walking and the force you were just going somewhere. Like you can almost hear the bass of Saturday Night
Those were
Fever
great,
when you
those-
walked.
So I couldn't do most of that stuff nowadays.
And no hook shot?
Hook shot, kick their ass. And then my granny found like, did you get my granny? Did you get introduced to that? The Rick Barry granny foul shot where it comes between your legs.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Barry was a pro NBA player. He got like 82% of his foul shots in that way.
Thankfully, you didn't make us study basketball when we played it.
Oh, some of them were Sam Gillen. He's been to big time.
It's fun keeping up with him on Facebook because he's not around, but
No,
he looks the same as he did in fifth
I know.
grade.
and
And
his son. I want his son's hair.
Gorgeous
badly.
family.
His son has the best hair in the world.
I know. And he's got the prettiest wife in the world.
Yeah, I know. He's
Yeah.
right in Austin now. He was in Chicago, right?
Oh yeah, I
And he
forgot he
moved to
moved.
Austin, Texas.
Hmm.
That's the nice thing about Facebook. You can keep track of where people are. Relatively keep track.
I feel like we get postcards every day by looking at that website.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like somebody sent a note and you know how they are.
It's been great, Facebook. I mean, not just for Wild, but for my family.
Yeah.
Just to be able to keep contact with people and not have to pick up the phone. If I had to pick up the phone all the time, I wouldn't do it because I'm not a phone person.
No, it's
basically.
exhausting.
And Facebook is easy and tidy, in and out. And you can look and not say anything. Or you can just look and like.
Mm-hmm.
I never say I don't like. If I don't like them, I just don't say it. But people don't put stuff that I don't like on there anymore. Or they do, and I just ignore them.
Yeah.
So what else about Wild? Scariest?
What's your most fun experience at Wildwood? Like, what
Most
is the
fun?
day you'll never forget or the moment you'll never forget?
Well, I do remember one particular class. It's not too long ago. Towards the end of my career, I had a nice group of kids in the 6th grade in general. And they were preparing their spring musical. And Miss Albano came down sick in the winter. She wasn't going to be able to do a spring musical. The kids, for the first time, they weren't going to do a spring production. And it was sitting empty for weeks and it was barely bad. And then one of the girls, Annie, I think it was Annie Fisher or Jenny Fisher, one of the Fisher girls, lived right up the street from you, in fact. Fisher girls. They lived on the other side of the street.
20 years after I had you.
Yeah. Well, they lived
I
there.
wouldn't know.
Their mother died unexpectedly,
Oh,
but
no.
so their mother died of cancer. So rapid death. And I watched the class come together around Annie and support her through it. Was it Jenny? I forget which of the girls was in the class. And I said to myself, Steph, you're going to take on this responsibility for this production. You're going to put together a production with these kids because they earned it, because they just earned it by being such sweet, gentle kids with Jenny. So I created a 50s production.
Oh, nice.
Did a 50s show. I did the 50s from the beginning to end. Started with the 50s, Love Letters in the Sand, I Was That Dog in the Window. Brought the audience from the 50s when it was pre-rock and roll to the end of the 50s, it was blaring rock and roll. And I remember feeling like the end of that, we really knocked it. We did like an hour and a half show, and we rocked it. It was like a really proud moment because I did a lot of work. I was in at like 8 o'clock every morning in the gym teaching kids how to do the Lindy, how to dance. Did a lot of work, but it was a very proud moment just because it was like we came together as a unit. There was like 90 kids in the class and me, and that was it. And we just worked our ass off and put that. That was I think my proudest moments had to do with the kids. Not, I won these Green Spoon Awards, these teacher awards. But